Hey everyone, it's me. Welcome back to Sobriety for Beginners because I know that I am. I am just a beginner in all this. Yesterday, I reached out to an old friend of mine, a friend that I had worked with in my prior job. Um, and it was nice to talk with somebody, from the good old days. Um, so originally, when I first started trying to get sober, I was working for a different company, and that's where I kind of classify like my heaviest drinking was drinking at that place, and that's where I went to rehab afterwards, and I got fired from that job, because of my drinking, so on and so forth. But he was one of the people there that was a friend of mine, and we still talk. And after the fact with my new job, he ended up kind of migrating over to this new job as well. So it's kind of funny that, you know, we both worked at the same place at one point in time, and then we both left, and then we both kind of migrated to this new place. Um, but anyways, it was nice to catch up with him, and so he was talking about like how he's been dealing with like mental health issues and how he's been struggling as far as like dealing with people and stuff like that. And I was like, I understand, like I get it. um, Teleworking is hard. It is hard being home all day every day. It is hard waking up and going to work at home, and taking your lunch break at home, and once you get off of work, you're already at home. Like it's hard. I get it. I get the anxiety and the depression of it. So we were talking about like mental health and stuff, but it was good that I was able to, talk with him about like, I struggle too. I'm a human as well. I have my own faults. I have my own problems. And I struggle with drinking. And he knew that because he knew my story. He knew what happened with me at our prior job. He knew that I was struggling with it through that whole point. And I was like, I still struggle with it every day. And it was nice to, be able to tell him, like, yes, it's 10 months, 10 months since the last time I took a drink. And, he was proud of me, and he was like, I'm glad that you recognize that, the things that you can do and you can't do. He's like, I'm glad that you can say, like, I cannot drink, because once, I drink, I turn into the second person. I turn into, like, this whole other personality, this whole other complete second person, really, honestly. And he was like, and I did drink around him a couple times because we had like Christmas parties and, things like that, like social events at work. And he was like, yeah, I totally knew it. He's like, I could see how you would switch from one person to the next. Like I saw how different you were when you were sober and then when you were drinking. Seems like, so I'm glad that you've gotten to the point where you can say, this is something that I cannot do, because it will create a second personality. It'll create this whole other thing. And so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool that I could, openly talk about that with him, because once again, he was there. He was there when I was going through all that havoc. And, he saw how it went. He saw how I was doing, and he's, proud of me for sticking to it and remaining sober. And so he has his struggle too, but we all have struggles, honestly. We all sometimes don't want to get out of bed, and we all have those days where it's like, ugh, it's gloomy outside, and the coffee doesn't taste just right, or my cereal has gone bad, or everybody has those days. Everybody has bad days, but it's okay, because bad days just shows us that, when there are good days, we can have the difference between the two. So, in where I live, there's a big bay that I like to look at. And when I'm driving my daughter to school in the morning, you can see like the sunrise and the sunset over the bay and all that good stuff. And Recently, I think the Boy Scouts had like a project that they were working on, and so they built a bunch of benches along the side of the road so that people people can stop and sit on the bench and then be able to look over the bay and look at the water and stuff. So I think I'm gonna start stopping and sitting on those benches. It was really cool that the Boy Scouts did that because that was the cool project for them to work on, giving back to their community. So I think I'm gonna start stopping and sitting on the benches and just kind of overlooking the water and kind of hanging out. And me and my sponsor, we meet every Saturday, so I think on Saturday coming up I'm gonna try and snag one of those benches. I drove by it today and there was a couple people already out there sitting on those benches. I don't blame them, but I'm gonna try and see if I can't snag one on Saturday with my sponsor, so that way we can sit down and hang out and look over the bay and do our step work and all that other good stuff. So it was good to talk with someone from the past, and be reminded of that life again, when I was in my classified heaviest drinking, because that was horrific. It was rough. It really was. I don't know how I made it out of it. I don't know how I survived out of it. But it's good to have a friend that's like, I saw, it's hard. Everybody, struggles, and he recognized it, and he applauded me for making it through and wanting to continue to be sober, and wanted to stop drinking, and so it was good. I really enjoyed talking with him last night. So it's nice to reconnect with old friends. So, and it's always good to kind of rethink of your past as well, just because you have to remind yourself of how bad it used to be, and I don't want to go back to that. I can definitely tell you that, because it was a hot mess. It really was. But I hope everybody else is having a great day. Everyone's back to work and on schedule. Kids are back to school and I'm back to work, and like I said, I've been challenging myself. I've wanting to kind of get out of the slum of being at home, working at home, and not really leaving the house or anything like that. So I'm like starting to challenge myself into doing more things. So that's why I applied for that other job. I haven't got a phone call yet. I'm waiting. If I get a phone call, great. If I don't get a phone call, then it's fine. I'll just keep applying. It is what it is, but I'm gonna keep doing it, and I just need to keep challenging myself. Keep pushing myself forward, because if I don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it. So I need to be the one to do it. So, anyways, it's a great day. Birds are singing. I can see them right now. It's pretty nice to be outside. I really enjoy being outside. That's my higher power, is being outside. So I hope everybody else has a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.